I don't want people thinking I'm like a reverse racist or something like that. That's not a thing. I don't want y'all to think it's a thing and think that I am it. You know, I don't want y'all to think, like, I don't dislike white people or anything like that. Like, I appreciate every moment. Like, I saw a white kid learn to ride a bike the other day. I thought that was such a beautiful moment, watching that young boy struggle for the last time. I thought it was so nice. And I don't want y'all to think that I don't think white people struggle. Like, as a minority, as a person of color, like, the most difficult part of my life is walking into most rooms and being the sexiest person in that room and knowing it's only by a technicality. So, I don't smoke weed. I don't smoke weed because I get panic attacks. I don't know, like, you ever been so high that you remembered the prison industrial complex? You ever? I don't smoke weed, but I still do all this acid. Isn't that weird? That's weird, right? That's weird. That's not how that balance of power is supposed to work. I don't know, man. Acid is a weird drug because a lot of people are afraid to do acid because they think it's too intense of a drug. But that's not true. It's just a matter of timing. Because the thing about acid is it takes about an hour before it does anything, which, as it turns out, is just enough time to forget that you've done acid. So for that first 45 minutes, you're just walking around just trying to do regular guy shit, like, just going to the bank today, make a deposit. And then that last 15 minutes, you're like, oh, shit, oh, man, what if it happens now? 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 And then finally, there's a moment where you're like, what if it happens now? Oh, no. That's when it's happening. I don't know if you guys follow that joke. Also, is it clear in this motion that I'm in line at the bank? Is that clear? Is that clear? I did theater and stuff in college. They tell you to use the space, but I don't know if I got that lesson down. I don't do that so much anymore, though. I've been drinking a lot, a little bit too much, and I've been trying to tone down my drinking. But the issue with, like, toning down your drinking is you start to get this weird shit where you start to think you're responsible again. Like, you ever been drunk in that sweet spot where you still think you can drive? And so you go out to your car, you try to stick the keys in the door, and you miss a few times. You're like, okay, maybe I'm too drunk to drive. Okay, all right. But then you feel all defeated. You try to go back into the house, and you try to stick the keys in the door, and you miss a few times. You're like, okay, maybe I'm too drunk to live here. And then you just move. You ever done that? Or you always have that friend that, like, offers to drive drunk for you. He's like in a real bad rut, but it manifests as him thinking he's a good drunk driver, so he offers to drive drunk. And, like, you ever been trying to stop a friend from driving drunk, but you're drunk too, so you're like, all right, man, I guess we'll talk about it on the way. So the thing about me, I have debit card debt, which I didn't know you could have, but I found a way. It's weird. Like, I try to be forward about, like, my financial situation because, like, I get so confused when people lie about it. Like, that's gonna cause more problems for you than it's gonna solve. And, like, it already fucks with your brain so much. Like, I have stress dreams all the time, and I always wonder if, like, rich people are having dreams about finding all the teeth that I dream about losing. You think is that a thing? I used to live in LA, and LA is a weird place to be broke because they're so deliberate about trying to take more money from you. They're kind of ruthless about it. Like, if you park on the street in LA, there's like signs that don't really mean anything. There's a red zone on either side of the parking space, just so if you go too far in either direction, you're gonna get a parking ticket. You never really know why. And I thought it was because the city needs money, but it turns out the parking industry there was privatized a few years ago. So all that money you pay for a parking ticket actually goes to Xerox. You guys are looking at me like you don't hear what I'm saying. Xerox. Are you hearing me when I say Xerox? Do you know what Xerox does? Who do you think is printing those tickets in the first place, guys? The shit goes straight to the top, man. 9/11 was an inside job. The new healthcare plan is a title exclusive. Those upside-down ketchup bottles are just regular ketchup bottles with an upside-down label, man. Y'all need to wake the fuck up. I don't know what you're doing here. I don't know what you think this is. Shit is out of control. I'm not a conspiracy guy, but it's weird that if you watch any old Hollywood movie, you'll never see an old black dude playing chess. It's always checkers, and that feels like a very subtle jab, but a jab nonetheless. Not a conspiracy guy. I cannot stress that enough. But I think it's weird that Bill Clinton responded to a question about his sexual exploits by saying, it depends upon what your definition of the word ISIS. Isn't that weird? And look, I realize your understanding of that joke depends upon what your definition of the phrase is, but mine happens to be ISIS, because I'm smarter than you. Guys, that is my time. Thank you so much.